Hello and welcome to this weekly horoscope. This is going to be a weekly horoscope for all the signs, and this is included the new moon in Scorpio around about the 7th of November. So I'm going to describe very shortly on a collective level what is this all about, this energy. Is it good, is it bad, what's going on? And then I'm going through all the signs on what area of life are we going to experience that. Of course, on a general level. So let's get started. The new moon, every year we have a new moon in Scorpio around this time. It's at the midst of Scorpio. It's on 15 degrees of Scorpio, the sun and the moon together. And always, it has to do with new beginnings. It has to do with endings and new beginnings. And in Scorpio, it has the codon of, a Scorpio kind of code, which is all about transformation. It's about intensity. It's about truthfulness. It's about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That kind of energy that is coming towards us. And we're going to feel that in some area of our lives, depending on where that new moon falls in our horoscope, that we are ready for a new beginning on a level that it is no way back, so to speak, and it's on a very totally new, transformed level that we are starting again. So this is not good or bad, it is what it is. Scorpio has to do with truthfulness and authenticity. So we're all gonna feel that. Now, what is happening with the aspects? Because when we have a look at the chart, the aspects are even more important than the signs, in my humble opinion. Now, this is a good new moon. Normally, new moons in Scorpio are really intense because of the sign, because Scorpio is all about intensity. It's all about realness. You cannot fake with Scorpio. You cannot put things under the carpet because they're gonna know. So the energy here is quite romantic, actually, because the new moon trines Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces, the new moon is in Scorpio. These are all water signs. So this is good. This is feeling emotionally. So again, I'm talking on a collective level here, on an emotional level, emotionally nurtured, emotionally, things are going better. So that's a good sign. Another good sign is that Mars is trining Venus at the same time. So even just after the new moon, Venus, that goes backwards in Libra, is going to touch Mars, but now in a very beautiful trine, which is good energy, instead of having 3 times a square to each other. So this is a story. This is a story about truth is coming out here. We have time to end things if we want that to end, whether it is a relationship, whether it is a work, whether it is a project. We have time to do it if we don't want it in our lives anymore, and then we can go on. Or whatever it is that it happened between the Mars retrograde in Aquarius. Mars was retrograde, and then it went into Venus like 3 times in a stressful aspect. That energy started from May up until August, September time, and we're getting out of that energy now. Things are getting fixed, and Mars in a trine to Venus means actually there's a balance between giving and taking. I take a little bit of you and you give a little bit to me, and we're in balance. That is what a good relationship is all about. A good relationship is a healthy relationship where there is a balance. You don't give too much. One is not giving too much and one is not taking too much. So it's a beautiful new moon. It certainly is. And it's one that we are going to have a look at now, every sign where that energy plays out. But in a nutshell, it's about starting new. It's about having dealt with some deep truths about, what do you want, what do I want, because it was that Mars-Venus context. And now it seems that whatever has happened, whatever we did, we are now at a very new energy. There is a new energy coming towards us that is way more balanced. And that's a good thing, isn't it? It doesn't always have to be difficult. So let's get started with Aries. So Aries, of course, Aries is a cardinal sign, and Venus retrograde is now in another cardinal sign, which is Libra. So for Aries people, there certainly have been truths coming out. There certainly have been things that has to do with relationships, because before the new moon, we will have Venus opposite Uranus. I didn't even talk about that, but that is again like another affirmation about, I want things to be real, I want things to be honest, I want things to get out of the way when they are still holding me back. So when we come to the 7th of November, we have dealt with that. And for Aries people, it's a lot about relationships. So yes, Aries, if you have had a very bad relationship, one that is toxic, one that is very negative, it is between now and the 7th of November, it is time to end it. Of course, that will be only a very small percentage of you Aries people that have this. Maybe you had troubles in relationships, then hopefully you have fixed them, or to a certain extent you have fixed what you could have fixed, because you cannot fix everything in just a couple of weeks or months even. And now you start all over again, because this new moon is in your 8th house, and the 8th house is a house of shared values, shared money. So it is really what I just said in the explanation really is applicable for you. So a huge transformation for Aries people. It could have mean even that for some of you who had those struggles with the relationships, now that they have been, because you are an Aries doesn't want to hold on to grudges, it doesn't want to stick to the problems, it wants to fix things, it wants to go forwards. And this will be a good time for you, especially with your ruler Mars in a trine to Venus. Even when there were the biggest problems, even when there was a breakup, now there is like, there is a bit of ease there, that you can breathe again, and that you know, I did the right thing, whatever I did. So good for you, Aries people. And you feel spiritually connected as well, because Neptune is in your 12th house, trining all that Scorpio energy. So it's like you're getting help from the invisible world, so to speak. So yes, it's deep for the Aries, which is not always what Aries people want. They want to go on, and they don't want to be sitting there stuck. But you surely are going forwards after the 7th of November when it comes to relationships. So it's very much about relationships for Aries people. So again, when things need to go, they need to go. When things need to, when you still love the person that you are with, you've done what you can, and there is another balance, and you work towards improvement, on a day-to-day level. Taurians, it's also about relationships, because this new moon is in your 7th house of relationships. So it's like, wow, what a transformation you have made. So for a lot of Taurus people, this could be a new, when you are single, for instance, this is a good time to meet someone new, and it's gonna be very, very romantic, because it's trining Neptune in the 11th house. So maybe a friend is becoming a bit more than a friend. So for single Taurians, it's absolutely a time of meeting someone new, and the relationship will have the flavor of the balance between giving and taking, which is so important for Taurus people, because they are ruled by Venus, okay? So at the same time, on a work level, so everything that has to do with your day-to-day routines on a work level is getting more balanced. So if you had some problems where there was an imbalance between people at work or projects, now it's more like you give a bit and you take a bit, and it's more into balance. But the main focus is on relationships for you. For the people who are not single, by the way, it could have been that you got up a level, that from living together you're getting married, for instance. That's the transformation, the scorpionic energy that is going on there, and off you go. You start a new chapter in your relationships. And for the Taurians who have had really, really a hard time, and there have been quite a lot of Taurians that I've been seeing here for consultations, especially the ones who have planets between 0 and 10 degrees, because they were one of the fixed signs that had all of this going on with Mars and Venus. So for the Taurians who had a rough time in relationships and that have ended the relationship or are still in the midst of it, you will feel after the 7th of November that, hey, I did the right thing, there is balance now, and you will feel better about the choices that you've made. So that's for the Taurians. Gemini, it's not so much on a love level, although Venus is now in your 5th house of the heart chakra, and you probably are doing the things that you love to do. It's the 5th house is really a nice house. It's about children, it's about your expression, it's about having fun basically. And there could have been something that you had to break through, that you're saying, this is now more time for me and the needs that I have, and I want to have some fun here. Whatever that was that wasn't going so well, with the Venus opposite Uranus that went on there in the 5th and in the 11th house. You might have gotten into a new relationship, a quite exciting one. And as well, like the Taurians, for you, this is going to be a very stable relationship. If that is the case, if you just started something new. Then, but the new moon falls in your day-to-day routine sector. It falls into your day-to-day life, your work. So there is like a new start when it comes to how you do your work, how you do your routines. There's like a transformation that has just went on. And it's whatever it is on a work level, if it was difficult, if it was difficult to have the balance, this is now getting corrected. You've got the beautiful trine in water going on in your workhouses. So you feel like emotionally more content when it comes to your work if you had some problems there. So good for the Gemini. And now you have your, it's a good time to travel for you as well. You might, if you're out there single and you want to meet someone, travel. You could meet someone. Cancerians. This is also happening in a very hard kind of house. The new moon is happening. Cancerians, it's lovely for Cancerians because you are that other water sign. So if you have been feeling a bit down lately, if it has been a bit difficult, and especially also in relationships and maybe at home, home versus work, it wasn't always easy. Now with the new moon in your 5th house, and you have what we call 3 trines happening at the moment for you. So this is huge. I mean, this is it. Feeling emotionally, although the problems might not be solved, all of them, but you're feeling emotionally better, you feel nurtured, you feel secure, you feel that your heart is open again. And here, with Neptune there in the 9th house, trining all that energy, you have a better state of, the state of mind is more positive. So for whatever reason it was that you felt a bit down, you Cancerians, there is a very uplifting energy coming up for you with the new moon in Scorpio. And it's all about your heart. It's all about do something that you like, even if it's a small thing, going to a restaurant, or if you like to make your own food and invite people to dinner, do something like that, or go out with your loved one and do something that you both love to do. Maybe it's even doing sports together in the 5th house, or maybe a swimming sport or whatever with all this water here. Whatever it is for you Cancerians, there's a soothing energy coming your way, and didn't you deserve that? You surely did. So also a more balance on an emotional level. Leos. For Leos, again, a fixed sign, again, a sign, especially when you have planets between 0 and 10 degrees. You are a Leo who has been through a lot. And now there is a bit more balance in your social relationships because the Mars and the Venus trine is happening in your intimate relationship, your 7th house, and also the 3rd house, which is a very social house. So if it wasn't that easy for you when it comes to relationship, when it comes to socializing, there is and when you have felt that people are taking too much from you, or when other people, probably with the Mars in the 7th house, you probably had other people saying to you, hey, you're not doing this or this right. Probably it was like that for a lot of you Leos, especially with the Leo rising. The ascendant sign. But if that has been the case, there is more balance now. You have a trine now between Mars and Venus, and that is good. So there is a balance again about what you take, what I take in relationship, and what I put into that. Very positive news. Actually, this is an amazing new moon. It's one of the better ones. And so it's all about relationships, although the new moon is happening in your 4th house of emotional well-being. So also for you Leos, it's about feeling emotionally more secure and even more supported. You will get more support from others. That's because of the trine to your 8th house. So if you haven't felt that support of other people that were important for you, you're getting it more now. Maybe even a gift that you're getting there. That you didn't expect. Okay, Virgos. Virgos, this is on a more mental level, but also in relationships are going to be emotionally supportive for you. Isn't that good for the Virgos? So you're having this new moon in the 3rd house, which is a bit of a Virgo house because it's ruled by Mercury. And that means a start of a new beginning, how you think. It's totally different. It's emotionally more nurtured. It's like the Virgos have gone through a transformation of their mind, basically. And that has a knock-on effect on your money. So for a lot of Virgos who had a bit of a rough time, October, the end of October, November is a very good time when it comes to money, when it comes to self-worth, because this Venus is in your 2nd house in Libra, in its own sign. So for a lot of Virgos who've worked hard, more money is coming in. Isn't that good? But also more self-worth, more of like, I'm doing what I want to do. And mind you, Virgos are, Virgo on, normally, not normal Virgos, but normally Virgos are very service oriented, always doing something for someone else. But now with that Venus in the 2nd house, it's a lot about, I'm doing something for myself. So do something for yourself, buy something beautiful for yourself. And you will see that because you value yourself more, you're going to get more value, especially out of your work, because Venus trining Mars is in the house areas of work and of health as well. Health is going good. Again, in general. And you're feeling emotionally more supported by the people that are important for you. Because the new moon trines Neptune, and Neptune is in the relationship sector. So for the single Virgos, wow, meeting someone new, hugely romantic time for you. And a very good balance between what you give and take. The Librans, of course, very important for Libra, because this Venus is retrograde in your own sign, and now, thank God, it's trining Mars. So a lot of Librans have also felt that stress between give and take, and now there is again, especially when it comes to enjoying yourself, get active there. With Mars there in your 5th house, get active. There should be a nicer energy going on with what you like, what you want, what you need, and what you do. About that. So do something pleasant around that time. The new moon is in your 2nd house, which is amazing for Librans, but because this is their house, Venus is ruled, it's a Taurus house, but it's ruled by Venus. So Libra understands the 2nd house. It's about your self-worth. It's about maybe a new financial plan that you have made, that you have transformed old setups, financial setups that are now more fresh, more real, and off you go, so to speak. So for the Librans who had a bit of a financial struggling, this is a new setup that you're getting there. And so also good for work, There is like, emotionally you're feeling better when it comes to your work. And but focus on doing something for yourself that is very, very joyful. Scorpios, of course, this is your new moon. So for the Scorpios who have planets, a sun or a moon or an ascendant around 15 degrees, this is like really a new time for you. And it's also like a refreshment time, and you're feeling that you have changed so much and that you have the old skin, and here you are again. So it's a time of a new beginning, and you will feel that very much on a physical level almost, that you feel refreshed with this new moon in your sign. And this is trining your 5th house, which is a romantic very creative, very joyful house. So again, just like the Libra and Scorpios, do something that you enjoy and you will feel reborn. And the Mars and the Venus that are now trining were going on in emotional houses, in water houses. So emotionally, it might have been a bit more tough for you. Again, you Scorpios who have planets between 0 and 10 degrees, you are one of those fixed signs who had a bit of a rough time with the Mars Venus, but now it's soothing out. And you Scorpios know all about truthfulness and authenticity. You cannot live without that. And therefore, it is said that Scorpio is so intense because it cannot fake. It cannot not live like a hypocrite. It's not there for you Scorpios. That makes you a bit of a more of an extreme sign. But my goodness me, you're living. And you will feel reborn and that you are living again and that things are going a bit more forwards. And especially with your ruler Mars trining Venus means that people will be more gentle towards you and vice versa. So it makes you a bit more gentle, a bit more cutting off those edges there. You will be able to get along with people better. You know, that is often, you know, with the Scorpio, whether it is your moon or your ascendant or your sun, it's difficult at times for a Scorpio to connect with others because although they want it so deeply, they actually want to merge with other people, but they are so authentic that they cannot, it's difficult for them to compromise. But now it won't be difficult. It won't be difficult during these couple of weeks because after the new moon, this energy stays around like another 2 weeks. So connections will get more, you will get more satisfaction out of your connections. But of course, bottom line is take care of you. Take care of you, think about how you can give yourself a bit of a, do something that you really, really like. Can't put it in other words. And you'll be fine. Then Sagittarius. This new moon is really interesting for you because it's in your 12th house, which is very hidden. It's like you're getting hidden support. You might have a dream that you feel so connected with everything that is, and that is so spiritual, that is so, yes, you will feel the support almost on a level, even that ancestor that has died and that you had a warm connection with, you can feel their connection and that they are there still. So it's a very spiritual energy for the Sagittarians. It's like they're getting support, and but it's invisible. And that has a knock-on effect on how you feel on a social level. You feel more connected. You could have even when you are single, meeting someone in your friend circle. So a friend could become a bit more than that and be very excited, but still very balanced. And with Venus in the 11th house, you know, you could get more money, especially when you work for yourself, get more active on a social level. So maybe social media. If you have a business of your own, for instance, this is great. Because you will attract a lot of people towards you. A lot of people listen to what you're saying and find you very charming, basically, with having Venus there in your 11th house. So I'm very, very active, very social active, very lots of emails and telephones and all of that, because Mars is in your 3rd house. And it's not getting nice emails, getting, you know, really healthy, balanced appreciation that you're getting there, no matter what you do. And that is very nice for the Sagittarians. Capricorn, new moon in your 11th house. So maybe making new friends, maybe when you are single, you could meet someone. That is a friend, and that is becoming more. Again, a bit the same energy there with the Scorpio energy then in your 11th house. And it's trining Neptune in your 3rd, so maybe because of you meet each other on the internet. And when you're not single, this could have to do again with your own business, that you're also getting very active, a bit like the Sagittarians there, that you could get very active, but feeling very emotional in your speech, but positive emotional. I mean, happy, nurtured, all of that. Your communication with other people improves. And there is also a good energy going on the work level and on the money level. So if that had gone a bit rough there, there is improvement on the level of work, on the level of earning money. This is getting better. You have Mars in your second house, so you might have had a bit of financial struggles there, or finding new ways to get a bit more financially independent and getting more freedom, and you're getting there. The Aquarians, this is happening in your 10th, in the highest point of your horoscope. As I said in other videos, the Aquarians between 0 and 10 degrees, boy oh boy, they had a rough time. This is smoothing out. This new moon there in the 10th house means new beginnings, and quite transformational new beginnings. That has to do with your work, that has to do with your income. So you're feeling emotionally very good what's happening there. It could have been even for some people that a new start is like working less, for instance. And even that gives you satisfaction. So it doesn't always mean more work. It's not about more or less. It's about feeling good, feeling better about your job, feeling better about work, feeling better about the money that is coming in from your work. And on another level, for you Capricorns, you as well feel, Aquarians, you feel better when it comes to now you have adjusted, you have made the differences that you had to make, and now you have a vision again, you know, with Mars trining Venus in your 9th house. So you're feeling mentally stronger. And notwithstanding, not every problem is solved, of course, but you're feeling mentally stronger, and this is fantastic. Last but not least, the Pisceans, another water sign. So this new moon is fantastic for you. It's happening in your 9th house. So what do I hear? Do I hear a door? Yes, but it's not here. Sorry, Pisceans. New doors are going open for you, Pisces. And it's really like that. It's all in the mind. So there is like, when Pisces needs to have that as well. You are ruled by, your ancient ruler is also Jupiter. So you also need to have that perspective on a long term. And there is something there that is new that has to do with your perspective. That has to do with how you look at the world. It's more positive, but it's deep and it's intense and very true. And it has to do with you because it trines Neptune in the 1st house. So for those Pisceans who were a bit lost there, who had no perspective anymore, your perspective is coming back. I know this is not about love, but hey, when your perspective is good, all the rest follows and has a knock-on effect on all the rest. And on an emotional level, it's for Pisceans really a shift that you're feeling emotionally more secure, more nurtured, also from the invisible world, because the Mars and Venus are trining in water signs in the 12th, in the 8th house. So you feel more supported. You feel that the universe has your back, so to speak. And that has been a long time that this has happened. So it's a very Piscean kind of energy that is coming up here, because this new moon has an aspect of Neptune, which is your, in modern astrology, your ruler. And that means that this new moon is a bit of a Piscean new moon. So you will feel very much nurtured indeed. Having said that, this was the... My goodness me. I'll better have a look what is going on there. I don't know what it is. There are some people who are working. I better check them out. On that level, I wish you all the best. New moon in Scorpio, in the depths of the emotions. Have a very good week or weeks to come. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.